Welcome to the From Message to Movement course. I am so excited that you're here. My name is Christiana Hill, and I'm a women's leadership coach and messaging expert. And during our time together, I'm going to teach you how to discover and position your powerful message so that it brings you clients, builds your mass following, and launches your thriving movement. Let's dig into Module 1. Module 1 is all about messaging and movements 101. And in this video, you'll learn what a movement actually is, how your movement relates to your business, 3 elements every successful movement needs, and how these 3 elements influence your messaging. Before we even begin, let's just talk about the definition of a movement. By definition, it's a group of people working together to advance their shared political, social, or artistic ideas. In today's common everyday language, it's people who have taken on a common identity and are united together sharing ideas, beliefs, and thoughts. Some examples are the Lady Boss movement, which I'm sure you've heard of, but there's also the Makers movement, the group of people who believe that you shouldn't mass produce goods. They believe in handcrafted and handmade items. And then there's also the Spirit Junkie movement. So if you're familiar with Gabrielle Bernstein, her movement is all about helping people not only tap into their abilities, but become light workers and share those gifts with the world. One of the big questions that I get are, how are businesses and movements related? Well, your business is really the money generator. It's how your people will actually be transformed or helped, and how you make money to fuel your bigger mission in the process of helping them. Your movement, however, is the life force that propels your business forward. It's the common identity that your people take on. It's the mass movement of your community that's inspired by your message. And it's the hope within your people. And if you think about it, you can have a successful business that makes you money, but if you don't have the movement behind it, it really doesn't take on a life of its own. It doesn't take on that common identity or inspire hope within the people. Now, there are 3 elements of a thriving movement. I want to talk about those for a second because this is really important. The 3 elements of a thriving movement are the leader, the future-based cause, and the new opportunity. So let's dig into what those mean. The leader is someone that members of the movement can know, like, and trust. It's the charismatic character that they can put their faith in and really trust that this person has their best interests in mind. The future-based cause is really that hope, trust, and bigger vision. It's that idea that people in your community are part of something that's bigger than themselves, that they're working towards a common good, that they have, this future for them that's brighter than where they are now. And the new opportunity, this is all about business. So this is the new way of doing things. If you think about it, if you were to go to a car dealership and the car dealer said for the same price, you could either have your same car with just some improvements made to it, or you could have this brand new car that no one's ever seen before, that no one's ever driven in before, and it would all be the same price. You would want the new car. So the new opportunity is really just this new way of doing things. It's the business and why people will want to invest in you versus somebody else. Now, I know that these are all really cool concepts, but it doesn't make any sense until you've seen this in action. And there are a bunch of different examples of people who have thriving movements. Jesus Christ with Christianity, even Adolf Hitler with the Nazi Party. But someone who I want to talk about who had a thriving movement is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs obviously is the leader. He has his story of failure after failure, and then eventually he had great success with Apple. But the future-based cause, what does that mean? How did he inspire hope, trust, and vision with his people? And to demonstrate that, I just want to read an excerpt from an old Apple commercial where Steve Jobs was quoted. He said, "Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules and have no respect for the status quo. They push the human race forward, and while some may view them as crazy ones, we see genius, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." So his future-based cause is this group of people who are the misfits, the crazy ones, but they're also going to change the world. They're a part of something that's bigger than themselves. Now, in terms of the new opportunity that Steve Jobs shared, his new way of doing things, well, in addition to all of the many inventions that he had, one of them was revolutionizing the music industry. And in a time when people were buying CDs and could only get 10 to 15 songs per CD, he introduced the MP3 player, which is where you could essentially get 150 songs in one spot. And each offer that he eventually created was everything from the MP3 player all the way, to the iPod. It was a new way of doing things. It was just shifting the view from what you could do before to what this new thing is. So that's just an example. But how does this connect to your message? How do these three elements of a thriving movement connect to you? Well, the leader needs a personal story, and that's really just the personal message of the leader. The feature-based cause, if you've caught on to this by now, is really the message for your movement. And then the skills, zone of genius, elevator pitch, really the business itself communicates the new opportunity, communicates your new opportunity. So what does this mean that we need to do for next steps? Well, we need to work on your personal message and story. And this is to position you as the leader, to bring in followers, to inspire that know, like, and trust factor. We need to work on your movement's message to create this feature-based cause and to really inspire hope and create a rallying point for your people. This is what's going to build the community because they're going to feel like they can connect to your movement's message and are a part of something that's bigger than themselves. And then we also need to work on your business and what makes you unique. And that's to create that new opportunity and, frankly, to bring in some clients. Over the course of our time together, you're also going to learn how to position your message on different platforms. So this is really to build that trust and also to grow your community. And once we've done that, once we've grown your community, inspired trust, we're going to learn how to leverage your message properly to go from inspiring these people to selling to these people. And this is really how we turn followers into buyers. And the way that we do all of those things, the way that we position your message and leverage your message properly, is to learn how to craft compelling copy that communicates your powerful message and story to increase engagement, grow your mass following, and create clients. Doesn't that sound awesome? I'm excited. All right, now before you move on, I want you to click the link below to download and complete the Module 1 workbook. And in that workbook, you're going to see a series of questions that set the tone for what you're about ready to learn. But I also want you to set aside time in your calendar to complete the Module 1 What's Next challenge. It's really exciting. It's one of my favorite activities to do with clients, so I'm excited to see what you end up doing with that challenge and that activity. And I will see you in Module 2.